Now, before we're getting you ready for another impactful snow, we've got timeline, impacts, how much to expect in the forecast.
And claims of an unchecked culture of student violence. The proposed lawsuit looming over Perry Township schools.
Plus, under verbal attack, the war of words between President Trump and Zelenskyy. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Freezing temperatures and sub-zero wind chills. This cold streak continues as central Indiana braces for another round of snow. What is this, Groundhog Day? Welcome to 13 News at 4. Great to have you here on a Wednesday. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence, and we're here in the Weather Center this afternoon with meteorologist Sean Ash. I don't know where I've been the last couple of days, but I was not ready for you to say more snow.
I'm sorry. And this morning, by the way, proof positive that you don't need 3 or 4 inches of snow to make the roads messy. We had a coating of snowfall. And what we're going to have tonight, it's going to be more than that. I can tell you that. It's coming from this clipper system that's going to be cutting right through the state between now and midnight. Now, I'm showing you what's happening over in Illinois, just to the west of Lincoln, and about to go over the radar site there in Lincoln. That's the leading edge of the clipper. We're going to have some flurries, and we're going to have some light snow like we've had all day long here the next few hours. It's just the coverage and the pace of the snowfall will ramp up later this evening. Temperatures locked into the teens all day long for the most part. I want to show you future track 13. Keep an eye on the clock. This is around 7 p.m. From about 6, 7 o'clock, from about 8, 9, you're going to see this overspread the entire state here. And the snow rates will pick up a little bit as well. This will linger into the overnight and early Thursday morning before it departs by about 5 or 6 p.m. And then it's just going to be a race against time for the road crews to try to get everything cleaned up before the morning commute. Even if we took snow out of the equation, wind chill temperatures tomorrow in the 5 to 15 below range would be enough for school delays. But then you add on a pretty solid ½ inch to locally 2 inches of snow. A lot of folks are going to get 1 inch 2 out of this. So we do expect slow and slick traveling conditions later this evening into tomorrow morning. There's those sub-zero wind chills, a little bit of a recovery tomorrow afternoon. We do have warmer days ahead. It's not all negative. Hang with us. We'll have the timeline on that coming up in the forecast.
All right, Sean, we will hold on. You can use the Live Doppler 13 weather app to keep track of the snow and the temperatures that Sean's talking about. It is a free download in your phone's app store. On to more news. On that deadly shooting in a northeast side neighborhood. It was breaking news that we actually brought you yesterday here on 13 News at 4.
5 people shot. One of them, a 20-year-old man, was killed. Today, neighbors told our Marina Silva what they saw.
Yellow crime scene tape sits in the snow outside a home on Wallace Avenue. It's left over from an active crime scene on Tuesday afternoon. Neighbors say the shooting that left 1 person dead and 3 others injured is not the norm.
This block here itself, since I've been here, has been pretty quiet. This is the first major anything that I've heard of that happened on this block.
Donald Noel has lived here for 4 years. He lives just across the street from where the shooting happened.
He was saying, I've been shot, I've been shot. He said, one of them's in my house dead. I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, wow.
The Marion County Coroner's Office has identified the man dead as 20-year-old Cameron Clay. Right now, there have not been any arrests in his death.
What's going on in his life at 20 years old would make him be in a situation like that? I mean, don't know his backstory, don't know who he is.
Yolanda Price was at the home where it all happened. She says her uncle owns the home.
I came right over here. I was on my way over here to do a well check on him because he had the flu.
She says he's in the hospital. He had been shot 3 times. She's angry over what happened.
It could have been a way messier situation, you know.
Noel says this is a situation many are going to have to live with.
I don't know. The man did what he had to do. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to live with this the rest of his life. But if any one of us was in the same circumstances, we're going to try to live. And that's what that man done.
Reporting in Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Now, IMPD believes this to be an isolated incident. Detectives are still investigating.
News from the State House today. Governor Mike Braun signed a new executive order hoping to contain the soaring cost of ABA therapy. ABA stands for Applied Behavior Analysis Therapy. It's considered to be one of the most effective treatments for children and adults with autism. The governor's order calls for an evaluation of that therapy by a group including lawmakers and families. He's asking for 3 recommendations to keep those costs down. Payments for ABA therapy are expected to be around $645 million next year. Emily is going to have more on that at 5.
Certainly. And 2 Indianapolis families are planning to sue Perry Township schools. Attorneys for the families say the district is not doing enough to protect students from bullying. 13 News received drafts of the lawsuits. Attorneys say those lawsuits have been filed. Attorney Catherine Michael, who represents the family, says this is not just about isolated incidents. She says a culture of indifference has allowed bullying and violence to become normalized. 13 News reached out to Perry Township School for comment, and so far they have not responded.
A reminder from firefighters today: do not drive through the scene of a working fire. That message comes after a driver nearly struck 2 Indianapolis firefighters this morning and then drove over some hoses. Firefighters estimate damage to the hoses to be about $75,000. The fire broke out just before 6 at a vacant home near Meridian and Raymond Streets. No word what caused it. Coming up this Friday, NBC's Dateline will spend 2 hours focused on the Delphi murders case.
And 13 News was behind the scenes as Dateline came to Indiana to talk with key people at the center of this case. Dateline has spent years following the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, who were murdered 8 years ago last week. In December, a judge sentenced Richard Allen to 130 years.
And in January, when the gag order was lifted, Dateline met with many of the people you'll hear from on Friday. So join us Friday evening for an all-new episode of Dateline about the Delphi murders. That's Friday from 9 until 11.
And then we want you to stay with us here on 13 News at 11 for our behind-the-scenes look at making this Dateline. That is Friday right here on WTHR.
There's been another plane crash in Arizona, this one deadly. It happened today near an airport just outside Tucson. 2 small planes collided and both pilots died. Last week, one of 2 pilots died on a private jet owned by Motley Crue singer Vince Neil after the aircraft veered off a runway in Arizona and hit a business jet.
And there are new signs today of the deteriorating relationship between President Donald Trump and Ukraine's president.
The 2 traded more barbs as the war between Russia and Ukraine nears the 4-year mark. Zelenskyy says Trump is living in a Russian-made disinformation space. President Trump posted on Truth Social calling Zelenskyy a, quote, dictator without elections. Elections in Ukraine were scheduled for last year, but were delayed because of the war. Zelenskyy also says he would like Trump's team to be more truthful after Trump claimed yesterday that Ukraine was to blame for the war. Today, Republican senators are reacting to the president's latest statements on the war. Take a listen here.
How we get there, I trust President Trump. He's a master negotiator, and I think he's going to get to a lasting peace.
To the extent that the White House said that Ukraine started the war, I disagree. I think Vladimir Putin started the war. I also believe, through bitter experience, that Vladimir Putin is a gangster. He's a gangster with a black heart.
Ukrainians say Trump's remarks are making them concerned about the future of their country. They say it could lead to Putin trying to annex more Ukrainian territory.
Former Vice President and former Indiana Governor Mike Pence also weighed in on this issue today on Twitter. He says Russia launched an unprovoked and brutal invasion, claiming hundreds of thousands of lives. He goes on to say the road to peace must be built on the truth. That was Mike Pence weighing in.
Haven't heard from Mike Pence on that issue really until today, specifically on that.
And he was clarifying who actually started this war.
Yeah.
So that's what we know to be factually true.
All right, that's the latest on that. Other news now happening right now, the groundbreaking ceremony for the new James T. Morris Arena. It's being built on the IU Indianapolis campus, downtown Indy. The school's president and Mayor Joe Hogsett are there. This is a big deal. It's a $110 million athletic center. It's going to house a basketball and volleyball court with seats for 4,500 people, along with a multi-purpose arena with an auxiliary gym and community gathering spaces. Construction is expected to wrap up late next year. Can't wait to see that when it's finished.
Yeah. All right, 13 News at 4 continues. Are you wanting a new iPhone, but cost is a big factor? They are growing more expensive. Well, the new option now available we'll tell you about.
Oh, I thought it might be a flip phone again. And lost in an avalanche, the way rescuers were able to find one very lucky snowmobiler. Sean?
And we're getting you ready for what's going to be a snowy and slick overnight into Thursday morning, and also the warming trend in our 7-day forecast.
And here's a look at traffic as we head to break. This is I-65 and West Street.